So it looks like that is on. And I am shooting from the hip on this one. I don't know how much I'm in the frame on this because I didn't check it out, and it's obviously not my normal recording setup, although I have recorded out here. So it's Wednesday. I just got off work. It is 5:38. Rhonda's outside. She's on the elliptical machine, and I had 15 minutes because I want to use it also to kill, and I didn't get a chance to record today, and it seemed like an important day to definitely, or to make a recording. So the neighbor's dog is out, and then our dog is doing her normal spastic, running back and forth and barking. Crazy ass. Hey. Hey, come here. Come here. Andromeda. So as I have been making these recordings over the last couple of days, there's been an escalation in my mood, motivation, and my clarity and my connection to what I would consider to be my higher self. And I love these cycles. I love hitting these phases, and this one has definitely been the most powerful I've ever experienced, and it's been I don't even have words to explain it. And I woke up this morning and I just had this feeling, and I had that same dream activity that I've had the last several nights, and every night I seem to wake up more in tune, more clear on who I am and what I am, and I'm seeing things come together, and it's really amazing. It's fantastic, and I'm so happy that I'm getting the chance to experience this high period in this cycle. There was a situation last night, kind of where I called Stefan and just to check in with him. I try to a couple times a week, and if we don't have a lot to talk about, if there's not a lot going on, or if he's busy or I'm busy, it's usually just a quick hi, how are you, and I love you, good night kind of a deal, which seems to fit our personalities and our schedule, which is fine. And last night wasn't much different from that, but I personally felt different just because of what I've been going through the last couple of days. And I've noted this, and it still surprises me when it comes about, but I've noted it before. When I have periods of extremes, or that's probably the best term, periods of extremes, where it's either an extreme up or an extreme down, or I experience something that's so far out of the norm that has an effect on me, he always seems to pick up on it. He always seems to have an experience of his own that somehow mirrors it, or has some kind of a direct correlation. So I talked to him for a little bit. We did our normal thing. Talked to him, just a few minutes. Hey, how you doing? Good. What's going on? All right. Well, cool. We'll touch base a couple days. And I got off the phone with him, and again, I'm still feeling this kind of this rush, this excitement, which is, it's, for me, it's been on every front, physical, mental, spiritual. It's been amazing. And I got in bed and I had no dread about going to work. I had wanted to yesterday. This is a weird side note. I did become extremely agitated and edgy yesterday afternoon and into the evening, but it was almost, it does go hand in hand with periods where I feel more focused, more passionate about life, there's more intensity, and with that intensity, sometimes there comes anger, and I really couldn't put my finger on it yesterday, but it started to become edgy and irritable at the end of the day. And part of it was I felt so clear and so focused yesterday. And there were some other things that kind of came into play in the office, and I was like, this is the day I need to talk to Steve. I need to sit him down and say, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm trying to do. These are my dreams. This is what I believe in. This is what I'm doing, and try and establish some kind of a connection on that level and say, hey, and this is where I think I can go, and I'm looking to make some changes. I'm looking to advance to the next level, and this is kind of where I think I can do for Boardwalk, and I think it can be beneficial to me and beneficial to the company, beneficial to you. And I really felt focused and motivated and clear that I could really sit down and have that conversation yesterday. And it's just been so busy that I was tied up doing things the entire day. And I was like, well, maybe I'll stay after work. But Rhonda had to show a property, and I told her I would go with her. And because one she hadn't been to before. And so there was other things going on. And I left work, and I was like, all right. And I really felt a little agitated about that, because I really felt like that was my window. I really needed to do that yesterday for it to have the impact. And there's periods in my life where I'm like, you know what, if I sit down and I talk to this person right now, I can get exactly what I want, and this is the person I need to talk to get it. And it's about understanding who you are, what you want, what your desires are, and what it's going to take to achieve those, to attain those goals and those desires. And yesterday was that day where I was like, I am clicking on all cylinders. And I know exactly what to say, and if I say it in exactly that way on this day, during this period, it will work out exactly as I want. And those moments in life are few and far between, and yesterday was one of those, and I felt like maybe I was letting it slip by, that maybe I should have done a little more to try and tweak my schedule to make that happen. And so I don't know if that's where my agitation started or if it was something else, but I still felt good. I felt very positive and very focused, very clear, and again, experiencing some very heightened, uplifting periods here the last several days. And we got through the night anyway, and that's really all I wanted to go with that. We got through the night. We ended up having tacos for dinner. I pulled some stuff out of the freezer and said, all right, well, I'm pulling this out for tomorrow, and I'm pulling this out for tonight. And I was going to start making the stuff for last night, and I was like, you know what, I just don't feel like doing it. Plus, it's going to interfere with what I'm trying to do tomorrow night too. So we just got tacos, and it was a quick, easy dinner and satisfactory, no issues. Watched a little TV and went to bed. So anyway, I got into bed after talking to Stefan, and it wasn't too long after that I got a text from my ex, his mother, asking if everything was okay, because he thought I was being weird and he was concerned. And again, it just reminded me that he has always been able to, or had some kind of intuitive reaction to when I'm going through powerful moments. And so yeah, no, the words I picked were weird to me, and I don't know why I picked them at the time, because they weren't necessarily words I would have chosen to describe the situation. But I wrote them and got a response, and she was like, well, maybe he was picking up on that last night. He had trouble sleeping, and he slept with her in her room. And I've had some very powerful nights the last couple of nights overnight, and it's usually those kind of things that he picks up on, but it's always been while he was here staying in the house. I don't know that it's ever been something that's been that drastic from that distance, which in the scheme of things, that distance doesn't really exist. But we just had a brief interaction. I said, yeah, I know there's some things going on. I'm kind of excited about it, but yeah, I'm in a good spot. But I feel there is some things that are different. Got me a little disoriented, a little out of sorts, but I'm good, and that was good. And it was that interaction reminded me of one thing, that it's nice to be able to express those kind of things to somebody, which is what I've really been kind of seeking out as far as developing those interactional relationships. But it just seemed to go hand in hand with everything that was going on, that he had picked up on it, and it lent more validity to my theories of life and our experiences. So normal thing, finished out the night, went to sleep, had a very powerful night of dreams. Felt, I mean exactly the same every night, the last 3-4 nights, maybe 5, I can't even remember how far back this is going. It feels like I'm falling back into the same spots where I'm picking up right where I left off. And the imagery is different, but the feeling is still exactly the same. And I'm waking up feeling, wow. And I got up this morning, and today was one of those most intense wow moments I've ever experienced. And I've talked about it a little bit, I think, in yesterday's recording, which I still haven't posted yet, was that you forget when you reach those plateaus, those high peaks of pushing the limits, and it's so rare that you hit those. It's hard to reckon when you come back out of that high atmosphere. It's hard to recall that, so your perception is a little bit different. But when you do reach them again, then you remember, like, I remember this from last time, and you're like, wow, but this was even more than I ever remembered. And we did our normal morning routine, got everybody ready, got to the car, and the only thing I could think about was getting in front of the camera and documenting that, because I mean, it was literally one of the biggest rushes I've ever had. And I mean, I was seeing things, I was seeing details in everything that was going on around me, in the traffic patterns, in the music that was on the radio, in everything that my senses were picking up was all clicking together, and it was giving me this image, this picture, and this feeling that, and that's what it's all about. That's what you strive to get in tune with every day. And there were so many things going through my head, theories, philosophies, ideas that were like, this is why this does this, this is how this affects this, this is how this connects to that, and this is what happens when you do this, and this touches this. And I mean, I was just seeing it all come together in my head, and I was actually able to convert that into words, into language, to be able to talk about it. And I was like, I don't have an excuse to go out this morning. I don't have an excuse to turn the camera on. And I literally thought about just turning it on with Rhonda in the car and just recording. I had a flash of yesterday and how clear I was thinking and how much I wanted to talk to Steve yesterday, but wasn't able to. And I was feeling that it's probably for the best, because what I'm seeing right now is creating something different. I didn't. Rhonda's looking for me. She must be done with the elliptical. Has it been 15 minutes already? Well, I guess it has been. So I didn't catch that window yesterday, and I felt a certain amount of regret about it yesterday, and today I felt like it was all for the best, because what I was able to achieve, what I hit this morning is a game changer. I mean, it's completely different. I mean, it's everything that I've wanted. And I got to the office, and I was like, maybe I'll just tell her I'm not going in right now. I'm going to sit in the car and I'm going to record this. That's how important this was and how moved I was at that point in time. And I didn't. I was embarrassed, for one. I really still am hesitant to draw a lot of attention to myself in doing this. And I was like, you know what? There's a certain amount of leeway in the mornings. I have a certain amount of flexibility with what I'm sorting through. I said, you know what? I'm just going to open a Word document, and I'm just going to start writing a sentence here, writing a sentence there, and in between doing work and reading emails and doing my normal morning routine, I'm just going to throw down a sentence here and there. That's because I really want to capture what is coming through as it's happening, and that's what I did, and it worked out well, because I really felt like I was able to capture the essence of what I was experiencing in a way that was not affecting my responsibility, my obligation to perform my job. And once an hour or so had gone by and I had been doing that, and I had pretty much put down everything that I wanted to, which was like just the highlights. I mean, there were so many details that it would have been impossible for me to sit down and document those details. But I had a rush again, like it just in allowing that to spill forward out of me and into some physical form that was now there that I could read and I could share if I wanted to. Even though I felt like the medium of video would have been more powerful, I was able to do it, and it gave, again, a whole new perspective to everything I've been through, everything I'm going through, and what my goals are and attaining those goals. And I ended up publishing that stuff. I wasn't sure I was going to hold. I thought I'm going to hold this. This is going to be something I'm holding for a special occasion. I'm going to hold it for a late release or whatever. But I did. I published it on my blog, and I've even considered sharing that link on Facebook and just seeing what happens and who is drawn into that. But and it was a very powerful morning, and it's really carried me through the day. And my ability to see and understand and process what I've been processing, and it's good. And I'm anxious to see what tomorrow holds. But right now, I think I'm going to go try and get some exercise in, do some cardio and some weights, and then finish out my day on a positive note on that front. So that's today.